Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys my personal guide to climbing, my strategy that I do every time I want to make a big climb. Now, I just recently made a climb from 50 LP Master all the way to 850 LP Challenger. And I did that all in about a 4-day span because I implemented the stuff that I'm going to talk to you guys about in the video. Now, what this video isn't, this video is not an improvement guide. This video is not how to get better at TFT. This video is about assuming you've already gotten better than your current ELO. Now you're trying to make an LP push. These are the things you implement. So I didn't get much better at the game in my Challenger climb. I'd already acquired those skills and then I was just implementing the skills. So this video is about how to implement and how to best be consistent on a climb. So I think that is incredibly important. And again, guys, this is just my method. It works for me. If it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry, but you know, it's just a take it or leave it situation. Let's just get into it. This is exactly what I do and what I think about when I'm climbing. Let's go. Okay. Now this first part, this is probably something some of you are already doing, or maybe you think you're doing this, but you're not really. But before you make a big climb, and when you go into it, I think it's really important to have a foundation. Or be a specialist in an area. So something that I really try to do every time before a climb is I specialize in a certain comp or a certain tree of comps that I know that if I get a setup to play those builds, I have an extremely high chance of top flooring. So I'll talk more about examples of stuff that I've done on this patch that when I get this set up, I know my chance of top flooring is about 80%. And my chance of like top 2ing is like 60%. So I think it's really important to specialize in an area. It doesn't mean not learn all the builds, don't learn the whole meta, but have an area that you are a specialist in instead of being equally skilled at all areas. That's something that I try to do. So how do we do this and how do we implement this? So item start, I'm just gonna read this and then we'll talk about it. Have a few item starts that you have mastered rather than playing everything, or you know, you're much more skilled at than all the other items. So have 1 to 2 offensive and defensive components that you plan on taking every single game, or if you can, if they're there, and have them ranked in your mind and how important / comfortable those items are for you. For example, for me, I start belt or chain, or if it's an offensive carousel, or if I can't get those, then I go for bow or sword on 12.1. It's not like I won't take any of the other items. It's just these ones are the most important ones to me, and I specialize in this strategy. I can play the tier start meta, which is very meta. That's what most people go for on 12.1 is tier start, or a lot of people do. I can still play that style if I end up getting it, but I have specialized in this area so that if I get the startup with a belt and chain and I get some of the comp trees that I'm really comfortable playing with, I know my chance of top flooring is extremely high, because I know all the ins and all the outs to that play style. Cool. So narrow your comp. So this is the same idea. And I put kinda there because we're still open to playing a lot of stuff. So same idea. Have a few comps that you are very comfortable playing and play towards that tree. I still don't force. Like I don't force. I still will play like the AP tree if it really puts me into it. Example, I look to play protectors with a defensive start, or play AD flex. And I will play AP if the game moves me into that direction. I just prefer AD. So, and what I mean about this is, so every game I look to play protectors or AD flex. If the game looks good to play reroll protectors, like I get a good opener for it, I have a good augment, I got a belt or a chain start, then I will look to play reroll protectors unless I'm contested, because I think that comp is very consistent. And if not, then I'll play AD flex. Then I'll just play the game like normal. I'll play strongest board and to flex it around Fiora, Yone, or not Yone, Fiora, Jin, and Urgot. I don't really play much Yone. Or I do, but I prefer not. And what actually this creates is I only play AP when I'm really high rolling for it, or the game is really pushing me in that direction. And what I found on my climb is I think I might have had like a 90% top 4 rate when I played AP comps, because I only played them when I was high rolling. I only played them when the game really wanted me to play them. And then my top 4 rate was a little bit lower on protectors and AD flex, but that's because I played a lot more games on them. And I would play all my low roll games on those and all my like normal roll games. on those as well. But I only play AP when I was high rolling, or the game is really pushing me into that. So the idea here is specialize in an area so that you're really comfortable with that start and that setup. But you still need to learn the other half of the builds. I find it to be very difficult to climb if you don't know how to play a whole if you can only play the AD tree and you don't know how to play the AP tree at all. I find that to be very hard. So you still need to learn both before you climb, but really specialize in one area and get really natural at that. By the way, I didn't just play protectors the whole time. Protectors are maybe like 40% of my games or 50% of my games. And I had a much higher top 4 rate when I played not protectors. Just a heads up. Okay, performance. So performing consistently. Consistently is the important part. So this is, right what we just did there was a little bit of preparedness before our climb. And right here is when we're actually performing. These are the things that I think about and I really put a lot of emphasis on when I'm actually trying to make a big LP push. Like maybe it's in one sitting or 2 days over a course of a week. I make sure that I'm thinking about these two things the entire time I'm playing. And really putting a lot of emphasis on this. So decision making. This line that I'm going to put right here is one of the most important things I've found in climbing. Justify all of your decisions, especially early game. I mean, when I say all of your decisions, I mean like big core decisions to the game, like when you're going to level up, when you're going to look to decide if you're going to re-roll or if you're going to push levels instead, or if you need to roll down. So every single time you're about to make a decision, justify it first, a big decision. So what this does is assuming you are better than your current ELO, and if you're trying to make an LP push, you need to be more skilled than your current ELO. That's how climbing works. No gimmicks here. Limits the amount of games that you troll. There's no fuck it first or eighth moments, right? Unless that is your best option. Sometimes going first or eighth is your best option, but it very seldomly is. Especially for climbing. A lot of times you can play for 5th or 6th or 4th, right? Instead of going for first. Seldomly is the right decision, but sometimes it is there. If you are better than your current ELO, then limiting the amount of variance by having no troll games, no troll decisions in your games should make you climb based off of your difference in skill. If you truly think your LP should be higher, if you limit all of these things, if you justify all of your decisions, and the way that you limit trolling is by justifying your decisions. Like, should I pre-level here? No, I don't have a 2-star unit, so no, I can't justify that decision, so I won't. You know what I mean? And you just climb by having a skill difference because you're not trolling, you're not making these reckless decisions, and other people in your lobby are going to be doing that stuff. So you'll just even if you're barely better than the people you're playing against, you will slowly climb just by being being slightly better than them at the game. And if you're truly way better than your ELO, you will climb extremely fast by limiting these troll situations and limiting the variance and just winning by playing the basic fundamentals of the game better than your opponents. Cool. Next part is tilting and panicking. This is probably, man, maybe this is more than decision making. For me personally, I don't have the mental fortitude to I just hit challenger, right? But I don't have the mental fortitude to be challenger every patch. I can't do it. If the game is tilting me, I can't play through that. And I think a lot of people can't play through that. So if you're tilted or your anxiety is getting the best of you, I also get a lot of anxiety whenever I play, especially when I'm close to a rank I want to be. I know a lot of people have that. Just stop playing. Stop. Just stop. And do whatever it is you need to do to address the issue. Resume playing when you're ready. So if I get tilted, if I am really upset with the game, I don't always do this, but every time I am tilted and I tilt queue, I lose all of my LP. I'll go from like 500 LP to 0 in 2 days because I'm just tilt queuing. Whenever I'm tilted, I just take a break. I go get something to eat. I work out. I go watch some anime or something, and I just do it again tomorrow. I used to think like I needed to hit a certain rank at a certain time, or I needed to be like, I used to think I needed to like do something for other people, but really it's just not a race. It's really a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's really a marathon. And if you're tilted, you just can't play. That's just what I see. Now, if you're able to play through tilt, and then that's great. But if you're not able to play through tilt like most humans, you just can't play until it's over. And same thing with anxiety. I have to do the same stuff. If I'm getting really anxious, I feel like I'm making a lot of panic decisions. I just need to take a break. I need to do whatever I need to do to address that. Now, if this is a chronic issue for you, I mean, this is obviously tough, and this is something you're dealing with. But if this isn't a chronic issue like anxiety and stuff like that, then just take a break whenever you start to feel it come on. Ranked anxiety or ladder anxiety, people call it. And anytime you're tilted, man, you just got to take a break. I've lost more LP by just being tilted than any other part of my game. Okay, the setting. Now, this might seem troll to some of you if you don't practice this in your life at all. So what we're going to talk about here is having like a mood or a ritual, making an event of your climb. Now, this is something that is not specific to video games. For example, this stuff is really important to me. I used to do this whenever I worked in my previous career. I was an aquatic safety auditor. That's what I did for a living. I loved it. It was an awesome job. Terrible schedule. Anyways, essentially what I had to do is I had to travel around the country, and then I would have to perform an audit on a water park or a pool, and then I would have to train them for the rest of the day. And they didn't know I was coming, so it was a really big deal when I'd show up, right? It was unannounced. So it was always a really big deal. So I'm like the center of attention for dozens of people for 12 hours. And so before that, before I would go out there to perform, before I'd go out there to teach these people and perform the audit and do everything and really be the center of attention, I would have to have a ritual before I do it to really get me in the right headspace. I won't tell you what that one was, but it's something weird, but just a different, don't have time for it right now. But I need to get myself in the right headspace, and it definitely improved my performance there. And I do exactly the same thing when I play TFT. So set the mood, make an event of your climb. So I am a big believer in rituals or keeping something consistent to put you in the right headspace before performing. Example, before a grind session, I make sure that I have at least time for 3 games. I always need to have 3 games if I really want to make a push. I need to make sure I have snacks and anything else I would need. So I limit my distractions, right? While I am in queue, I have a spot in my playlist that I play. When the music starts, I am in the zone until the end of the game. And I'm not just talking about TFT. My past career, I did the same thing. So yeah, I have a specific spot in my playlist. It changes over time just depending on what my music tastes are at the time. And I know when I start that part of my playlist, I am about to fight for my life in this TFT game. That is how I view it. And I am just in the zone, and nothing will distract me for the rest of the game. No matter what, nothing will distract me. I will pay attention because I've trained myself to be in this headspapace. Now, this might sound kind of like woo-woo-y to some people out there, especially if you never practice this. But this is a big thing that people do in a bunch of different facets of life. And maybe this isn't important to you, but this is extremely important for me whenever I'm climbing, is to do this thing, really set the mood, make the event of my climb, put myself in the right headspace before I do it. It's really about being intentional about your climb. You know what I mean? That's what it is for me. All right, guys, in conclusion, in synopsis of this whole video, limit your variance. Don't force, but limit your variance. Limit your variance in comps and stuff. Focus on one part of the game that you're really good at, but still don't force. If you're high rolling another tree, or like the AP tree, if you're playing AD, play that whenever the game is pushing you into it, but really focus on the stuff that you're really good at whenever you're making a climb that you specialize in, and make sure you do have something that you can specialize in. Justify all of your decisions, all of your big ones, all of your leveling, all of your big breakpoints, all of your, like, am I going to go for this comp? Am I going to reroll? Make sure that those decisions are justified and you're not just doing them because that's what, I don't know, someone told you should do, or you're like taking a big risk. Make sure you're not taking unjustified risks. Okay. Take breaks when you need them. So when you're tilted, you have anxiety, just take a break and just take as long as you need. And I know that sucks for some people, don't have a bunch of time to play, but if you play 4 games while you're tilted, that is not going to be, that is not worth playing just 1 game being not tilted, because you're probably going to lose those tilted games. You know what I'm saying? Set the mood, put yourself in the right headspace, and make an event of your climb will help you get in the right headspace and really be intentional about everything that you do whenever you're looking for the climb. All right, anyways, guys, that is it for the video. I will have my training method. I'll be posting my training method and a challenger guide. Well, my complete guide on how I made it to challenger. I make this every set that I hit challenger. I think it's a fun video. I think people really like it. And so be looking out for those two. And other than that, I appreciate everybody came by today. If you guys want more of me, you can follow me on Twitter or follow me on Twitch. Links are on the screen. They'll be in the description and in the pinned comment below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I appreciate all of you guys, and good luck climbing. Hope you have a good day, good night, good rest of your day, and wherever you are, I just hope you're doing well. See ya. Bye.